Peace, everybody. This medicine man in the kitchen. I'm doing this live video, man. For the most part, talking about reversal candles, man, and some of the best techniques and ways of making your own reversal candle. I think that's very important when we understand root working and understand how to work roots and how to work with the herbs and how to work with the elements that we already done previously worked with. So when we look at some of the ingredients that we got here, what we got here is with some of these ingredients is we got elements from prosperity candles and elements from destruction work for candles done for both, for destruction and prosperity. So what we're doing with the elements is we're merging the elements. We're taking the ingredients, the candles that we had prosperity work done for, and this is one of the candles that was used for some prosperity work. And we're going to take it and we're going to put binding elements on it. And then after we put binding elements on this candle, we're going to add it to some of the dark work candles that we did, that we completed some dark work with. We're going to merge the elements together, and then we're going to put a person's name or picture or whatever into the candle, actually enlarged on a rusty nail that came off of a slave plantation. You see, so we're going to basically invoke some dark entities and dark spirits through conjuring the energy through the candles that we've used in previous works. There's different processes to this. And what we're talking about now is just the ingredient part of putting together certain ingredients and mixing the formulas. And then later on at another time, we'll talk about the actual conjuration process where you actually deeply empower the candle to perform your magical working. Sometimes when it comes to candles, there's very different types of candles you can make. You can make candles for light work, angelic beings, and you can also make candles for darker forces, which some people consider demonic or whatever. You can make darker candles, candles that can generate positive energy or negative, and it just depends on the type of energy and the elements that you're submerging into the candle. So let's get busy with some of this. And see, I already had some of this. I tried to cheat it. So what we're doing, we're taking a candle that we actually previously made. This candle was a dark work candle. So we already got the dark work candle. We already got the dark energy on it. We rinsed it out with some thunderstorm rain water. And then we're going to use this as our base to building the work. Now, when it comes to this, I guess this kind of work, you know, I kind of put the prosperity stuff at the bottom first. As much of the prosperity candles that we did, we're gonna get that down first. And then on top of that, we're gonna put some binding herbs on top of that. We're gonna put some binding herbs on top of the prosperity pieces of the prosperity candle. Let's put a piece of that in there and there. And put some binding herbs on top of it. So now after we put some binding herbs on top of it, we're gonna turn around and let's see, add some more of that. Not that, not yet. Kind of put everything in there. After we then put the binding herbs in the middle, we got some binding oils here. Famous powder. Let's get a little bit. I see a little bit out of there. Hold up, y'all. Work. Sulfur, and this is sulfur. We often put sulfur in our work to spice it up a little bit. Give me 1 second, y'all. Sulfur bag ain't acting right. There we go. So we're gonna put some sulfur on top of the black stuff. And usually you can put charcoal in here or street parts. Trust me, street parts, accident parts, corner parts, different elements you can put in there. But we're gonna put some sulfur in there for now. Some sulfur in there. The sulfur jumping. Some more ingredients. We're gonna just pile it all the way up. Oh, not yet. Now see, there's a trick to using the pennies and using coins. If you want to cut a person's money off, you curse the coin. So in this situation, you would curse the coin, and you would curse the coin on the tail side. Curse the coin on the tail side with hexing oil. You see, and sometimes people they glue the person's name to it, and you can glue a person's name to it after you curse it, and you put it down into the candle. You see, you can put it down into the candle. There's a trick to it. I take an old wick and I kind of put it down into it. So once it's already kind of melted down a little bit, this is what we do. We take the old wick and put it down into it. So let's go ahead and try to get some of this melted down. See how everything is. Hold on, I got another herb right here I want to put in there. I want to put some of this in there. I want to put some of this herb in there too. Put that up there. Kind of get it flushed down here. Some oil right here. So we got that done. So what we do from there, man, is we kind of take the old candle wax and we're going to put it down in the water, kind of hot water, and let it kind of melt and simmer. If you like me, I put some of these herbs here into the water. Some of the herbs there in the water. Just a little bit into the water. We're making a binding candle right now, so we want to put those herbs in the water, and I usually put a dash of red vinegar in the four corners. See? The four corners. Then I put some in the middle. Dash, just a dash. And this helps to bring that energy that we're looking for to the work. Definitely. So we mixing that, and we're going to sit and watch and allow this to melt. And while it's melting, well, everything is melting down because of the rusty here. And turn it a little bit. Seeing this process here, you see how we keep channeling your energy at this point. You want to channel your energy. Keep your energy channeling. As you're letting the candle melt, one of the things you can do is scry into the water. And you scry into the water as we looking down into the water, and we circulating that energy. We We tapping into the energy current, channeling as we stirring. You see, channel as you stir. Real important. And you can read into the water. See. You see? You put some of your own juice in it. Definitely. Keep the stove turned down low. Definitely, you don't want to break the glass or anything like that, so keep it down low and continue to stir. And you see as the water bubbles come up, they make, they make patterns in the inside, see? The water bubbles making patterns from different sides, and they're all coming up, all boiling. And we're just going to circulate and absorb that energy. The energy. Remember, everything is energy. So what we're doing here is we're taking fire. The fire in the water is creating this friction that makes these bubbles down there, that makes these bubbles. And the friction is caught into the energy cycle of stirring, of stirring. So now the more you do it, the more energy that you pulling into the candle, pulling into the work. And this is why this process right here is probably the most important part when it comes to calling up whatever spirits you're working with. If you're working with ancestral spirits, or you're working with angelic forces, or you're even working with dark forces, this is the time to pull those energies in. So you switch, you turning everything to the right because you're pulling these energies in. You're doing all your conjuring. You're kind of pretty much calling on every force that you can call on as you're twisting the candle. See? Now, we pulling in energy by going in this direction. We pulling in. We just wrapping everything to us, pulling it in. We're reeling it in. So what are you reeling in? This is the destruction candle. We're reeling in protection? Nah. Or let's do it the other way. See? And we can switch it the other way. What are we doing? We're sending out. What are we sending out? We're sending out the darkness, right? So we're wheeling in the protection, and we're sending back all darkness that comes towards us, all darkness that comes towards your life, towards your prosperity, towards your everything for you. And we spin. You see? And we spin. So now we keep this process going on, and trust me, this process can happen. I've been at it for like 10 minutes now, and this process can go on and on and on until everything is melted down. It's melting slowly. Um, yeah, see it down there. It's melting. It's melting. It's melting down. Let's get everything down. And everything's melting down to the wax. And then what we do there, we're going to stick the wick down into it. We stick the wick down into it, consecrate it some more, and then we put it to work. We put a little bit more of that. No, at this point, like lemon, a lot of people don't like to use lemon, but you can use a fresh lemon, man. Fresh lemon juice to put in there to sour up a situation. One of the natural elements, but you use fresh lemon juice, and then you mix it with binding herbs because you make the situation sour, but you also want to connect a person to it. So by using the fresh lemon juice, and then you take a picture and you burn the picture of the person, and then you take the ashes of the pictures and you mix the pitcher in with the ashes of the pitcher into the lemon juice, and then you place it down inside there. Okay, one of the things you can do. Another one of the things you can do. Let's look at what else we got here. We're trying to let it melt down a little bit more. Just letting it melt down a little bit more. And there it goes. Now, now that I've let water into the glass, how do I fix that? So we deal with continuous flow, so it really ain't a problem that water got into the glass. So what we do, we add more of the candle. And trust me, anything that you do, anytime we do any kind of spiritual work, and there's anything that happened to go wrong, it's a reason. So there's a lot of things going on, maybe in your life where you have to do some kind of protection work or whatever. And so while you're doing your work, things happen, and that's a sign. So we read all signs. You see, we read all signs. Now, the reversal candle turned over. So that's a good sign. To me, it's a good sign because of letting us know. uh, 1 second. There we go. So let's go ahead and finish adding some more of our melt down into the candle. Now we got it nice and dark. Now it's gonna melt some more. We got more wax. We're gonna dump it all in there. Orange. One sec. Just make sure we get it all the way good. We got it nice and loose. So now what we do now is we're gonna take it out because we got it all melted down. We're gonna take it out. We still have our wick. So what we're gonna do from here is take it out. Give me 1 second, y'all. Get everything. Take this off real quick. Let's get this out of here. One sec. All righty. Got it out of there. So now we have our candle. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to let the candle dry all the way out. Now, another trick. Once the candle dries all the way out, once it dries all the way out, it's like, how are we going to get the wick down in there? Well, we're going to take like a screwdriver or something, and then we're going to into the center, and then we're going to drive the wick down into the hole. See how it's drying already? We're going to take the wick, and we're going to drop it down into the hole. Drop the wick down into the hole that we make with the screwdriver. Take it, and then we're going to pack the hole with herbs. When we put the wick down into the hole, we're going to pack it with herbs with the wick in there. You're going to just lightly pack it with herbs to give the wick stability and for this particular herb to have dominance over the work, being close to the fire. Okay? So we're going to do that. Light the candle. Boom. Let it burn. So that's one of the ways. I think it's one of the better ways, especially when you put a lot of energy into it, when you put a lot of your ass shade, when you put a lot of your inner force, calling your ancestral spirits, or working with your spirit guides, or working with any kind of spirits that you're working with. Always make sure that you keep them very present in the work that you're doing when you're pulling the forces. It's not only about mixing ingredients. It's always about mixing the ingredients with the proper desires, with the proper intent. So that just don't mix it. Always include your spirits, your ancestral spirits, your spiritual energies in all of the work that you do. Now, what as a root worker, and this is something like a little bonus part of it. As a root worker, what are you going to do with all the ingredients that you have left? Okay, what we have here is the ingredients from a binding reversal type candle. So I'm going to keep this water here because there are going to be other things that I'm going to be able to do. Like, for example, if I have some binding oil, if I have binding oils, like this particular oil here is a binding oil, then I can wash that oil in there. See, I can wash that oil in there. And believe me, it's hot. It burnt the hell out of me. But you can wash the oil in there. You see, wash the oil in there and do the same process with your bottles of oil to enhance the properties of your oil and pull on the energies that's already there. You see what I'm saying? So you always want to continuously use the energies. Remember, we blend, mix, stir, combine, transmute energies. So you never want to disregard anything that you use magically, because if you use it magically, that means it possesses power. Okay, this is just a brief one for the